Annie Leibovitz by Carol Lee. Annie Leibovitz was born Anna Lou Leibovitz on October 2nd, 1949 in Waterbury, Connecticut. She was one of 6 children of Samuel Leibovitz and Miriam Edith. Being in a military family, she was moved frequently during her childhood. She later likened looking through her camera's viewfinder to seeing the world through a car window. In 1967, Leibovitz began studying painting at the San Francisco Art Institute with the intention of becoming an art teacher. While there, she took a course in photography. She quickly realized that being an art teacher required having actual art experience, and so she changed her major to photography. She also found painting isolating, and photography took her outside of herself. She was inspired by the gritty, spontaneous photography of Robert Frank and Henri Cartier-Bresson. She started her career as staff photographer for Rolling Stone magazine in 1970. At the time, the magazine was just 3 years old. Leibovitz's early photographs for the magazine were primarily candid black and white shots of rock celebrities. Her skills in capturing the personalities of the rock celebrities helped define the look and style of the magazine. She was named the magazine's chief photographer in 1973 at the age of 23. Her reputation was boosted in 1975 when the rock band, the Rolling Stones, hired her to photograph their world tour alongside journalist Hunter S. Thompson. Leibovitz slipped from being merely an observer to a participant in the rockers' touring life. She had described that she would be up all night doing everything with the band. She developed a cocaine addiction that began with the tour that took her 5 years to overcome. After the tour, Leibovitz returned to Rolling Stone magazine, which began printing photographs in color in 1974. As Leibovitz taught herself to work in color, she also changed her methods for dealing with her subjects. She found that one of her great skills as a portrait photographer was putting people at ease. Growing more comfortable with the idea of staging shots, she convinced celebrities to strike peculiar and ridiculous poses that often commented on their public image in a fresh and witty way. Whoopi Goldberg had a nightclub routine where she plays a little girl who's trying to use Clorox to wash her skin. Leibovitz posed Whoopi in a bath of milk. Meryl Streep, a young actress at the time, felt very awkward with all the attention, and she never enjoyed having her picture taken, so Leibovitz posed her in whiteface so she could hide underneath it. Among her notable photographs of the era were portraits of Bette Midler, nude and covered in rose petals, and Bruce Springsteen with an American flag as a backdrop. Her most famous photograph for Rolling Stone was one of former Beatle John Lennon. Snapped 2 hours before his murder on December 8, 1980, the photograph shows Lennon in the nude, curled like a fetus, and clutching the body of his wife, Yoko Ono, who was fully clothed. Leibovitz left Rolling Stone and joined the staff of Vanity Fair in 1983. She explained that Rolling Stone never did want to grow old gracefully. At Vanity Fair, her work with actors, directors, writers, musicians, athletes, and political and business figures expanded her collective portrait of contemporary life. Her most notorious image appeared in a 1992 Vanity Fair cover. The portrait showed actor Demi Moore, 9 months pregnant, in the nude. Banned from newsstands across the country, the cover made national news, sparking debates about American views of pregnancy and female sexuality. She also helped create several influential advertising campaigns, including her award-winning portraits for American Express and The Gap. She also collaborated with many art organizations. In 1991, the first 20 years of Leibovitz's career were honored with a major exhibition at the National Portrait Gallery, featuring nearly 200 photographs. The show traveled throughout the United States, England, and Japan. A book based on the show, Photographs, Annie Leibovitz, 1970 to 1990, was also highly successful. During the 1990s, Leibovitz began to seek out new subject matter. In 1993, Susan Sontag, Leibovitz's companion, encouraged her to deepen her work by documenting the conflict in Sarajevo. She also became the official photographer of the U.S. Olympic team for the 1996 Summer Olympics held in Atlanta, Georgia. In 1998, she began working for Vogue. Vogue is a fashion magazine. On her first assignment, she was sent to Paris during the couture shows to shoot a photo essay featuring Kate Moss and Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy. Leibovitz continued at Vogue for the next 23 years, creating a substantial body of fashion photography. Based on more encouragement by Susan Sontag, she completed a book project in the late 1990s depicting American women from all walks of life. For 3 years, she traveled throughout the country photographing teachers, soldiers, astronauts, athletes, artists, and executives. Although most of her subjects were non-celebrities, she also made portraits of some of the most powerful and influential American women at the end of the 20th century, including Hillary Rodham Clinton. The resulting book, Women, became the focus of another traveling exposition. She continued with that project in 2016 with a follow-up traveling exhibition called Women, New Portraits. Although they never lived together, Leibovitz had a romantic relationship with Susan Sontag for decades until Susan's death in 2004 from cancer. Leibovitz started a family at the age of 52 when she had her daughter Sarah. 4 years later, her twins, Susan and Samuel, after Susan Sontag and her father Samuel, respectively, were born to a surrogate. Today, Annie Leibovitz remains in high demand as a portrait photographer. She most recently completed a new book, Wonderland. The book was built on Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. Wonderland, published in November 2021, is an anthology of fashion images she shot mainly for Vogue. The 341 images in the book bears the hallmark of the Leibovitz's style: masterly use of color, theatrical staging, and artful interplay between artificial and natural light, and provide a visual narrative of an imaginary story. I picked Annie Leibovitz to present because I saw her images growing up and always thought they were well taken. I took this assignment as an opportunity to study her. Thank you for your attention.